Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. Today we're going to do part 2 of my tutorial series on how to use Global Company. If this is what you're looking for, please stay tuned. Welcome back everyone, this is part 2 of my Global Company tutorial series. So today, well first off let me go over here. So last time, if you remember, we went over the icons and the actual Global Company itself. So we do need Global Company to be installed at this point. Global Company is kind of the entry-level mod, and you need to kind of understand how to use that before you can use everything else. So you do need this installed to run what we're about to do. But today we're going to go over the field lease function in Global Company and the field calculator function in Global Company. So these are relatively simple. This should be a relatively short video as well to cover these. So these are what they look like in the mod hub. So if you want to download them, that is what they look like. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit Control G to go into our Global Company menu. So here's the factories menu, the dynamic storages, and then we also have the errors and these settings here, which you remember from last time. So it added two other functions up here at the top. So field lease and field calculator. So this is the field lease screen. So this doesn't work on necessarily every map. It has to have fields associated with it. For example, for No Man's Land, it's a little bit more difficult because if you lease it, then you're essentially leasing that plot of land, not really a field itself. But you are, I mean, it's kind of similar. So anyhow, if it says free over here, that means it's just available. You don't own it. So if let's say I hop out of here and I go into here and I buy field 13. So if I buy that, yes. Okay. Now, if I go back into that menu here, field 13 is sold. So that means someone owns it. Now, if I own it, I can come in here and sell it. So if I hit sell here, it will sell it back. I can hit yes, and it'll sell it. I can also, if I wanted to go in here, I can buy it. So if I hit buy, yes, I can buy it. So then if I exit out of this menu and go back in here, I still own it because I just sold it and then bought it back. So you can buy and sell fields from that screen as well. Now, the benefit of this is similar to if you go into the store and let's say you wanted to lease this, there'll be an initial leasing cost and there'll be kind of a per operating hour or per day cost. So leasing fields kind of works very similar to that, where there's an initial leasing cost that you pay up front and then you pay a per day fee. There's nothing else as far as operating hour or anything like that. So if we hop out of here, go into this menu here, let's say we want to lease field 1. So I can buy it obviously, but I'm gonna hit no, I don't want to buy it. So field 1, I want to lease it. So if I hit lease here, a field 1 for 62702, and then it's going to be that per day. So I'm going to pay that. So yes, if I hop out, it went down, my money went down by 62702. Now if I go back into here, it's going to talk to me a little bit more about that. So lease per day is 6,270. So let's say I want to lease this as well. If I go ahead and lease field 2, there's the initial cost of 63,192 and then 6319 continuing. So now it's going to have my total lease down here, but I understand what each of those are for. So if I want to end any of these leases, I can come in here and I can end it, yes. And then I can end this one as well, yes. So that's kind of how that works essentially. But if I go back into that menu and so actually let's do this real quick. So see field 1, I can't do anything with. I mean, yeah, I could buy it, but I don't own it. It's not green. So if I go into here now and I lease field 1, paying the upfront cost, and that's the daily cost. So I pay that and I go into here, I now have access to it, so I can do stuff with it in here. Now you can go in here and you can try to sell it. So if we have 88 grand in the bank, if we do go in here and we do hit sell from here, it actually does bump our land up. But if you go into the actual menu here, it's going to say free on here, but the only option in here is to buy it. So you end up having to pay for it. And then if you want to go in here, you are still leasing it. So it doesn't really matter. It still kind of resets you back. There's not really a way to get extra money out of it. So I recommend just working, if you're going to use this mod, just work in here with it. But you can scroll down to get all the way down to the bottom of field 26. So that's how it's going to go and everything like that. There's no way to sort these or anything else like that. So that's kind of how the field lease function works. Now, if we move over to field calculator, this is a very nifty mod. So for example, field 1, the one that we had leased, this tells you how big it is, how many hectares it is. It also tells you how many liters of lime it would take to lime that whole field. Now, given if you waste some, it's going to be more. This is the exact amount that you could, at a minimum, get by with. Solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, herbicide, so different stuff like that. Manure, it's going to tell you how much manure is needed, how much slurry is needed as well. So it's the same liters of slurry and manure and digestate. So those are all the same across the board for every field that you do. Now, it doesn't have seeds on here, if you notice. By the way, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom. But let's say I wanted to know how much seeds. I left click on it, and down here it has seed consume. So then if I hit enter on my keyboard, or I hit enter here, it's going to tell me by fruit type how many liters of seeds it needs. So obviously stuff like potatoes and what's another good one? Sugarcane takes a lot more seeds. So those take a lot higher amount of seeds, but that's also if you know that you can use sugarcane to plant that and be cheaper, and potatoes to plant that and be cheaper. But regardless, it shows you how much it's going to need. So essentially, with oilseed radish, which just adds a fertilizer state, you could fertilize a field for 207 liters, or this field for 207 liters of seed, versus, you know, using 448 liters of solid fertilizer. So it might actually be a cheaper option. Matter of fact, I know for a fact that is a cheaper option. So stuff like that. So it's a very nifty tool. Now, this one really doesn't work on examples like no man's land, because all the fields are the same size, and it's not going to register what your field is, and you can't highlight a field or anything like that. It's just telling you based on what the field sizes are in game. So this is just kind of a basic thing to show you those various functions of it. So those are the two global company functions that I wanted to go over with you guys today in this video. So get a little bit shorter, but I want to kind of keep it limited to probably 2 parts at a time, or 2 different mods at a time, just to kind of keep it more simplified. So if you have any questions about Global Company 2, you can drop it down below in the comments. But that is everything I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button up on your screen to join the Farmer Cop channel. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future tutorials or test videos that I may post. But anyhow, guys, this has been Farmer Cop. Thank you for coming and watching.